the Shen and Shan show where Shanice, my mom,
and Shan the Pam
interview with LGBTQ plus professionals and entrepreneurs.
So let's get giddy and start the show.
Alrighty, guys, welcome to the Shen and Shan show. I'm Shan.
And I'm Shanice. We have a great guest on today. We're so excited to welcome LaJoya Johnson. And LaJoya is from Black Educated Lesbians, our Facebook group that Shan and I joined quite a while ago. It's been a minute, but that's how we uncovered LaJoya.
She's a Facebook celebrity.
Yes, Facebook celebrity is right. Facebook has LaJoya on ads, on Hulu. I mean, she's all over the internet. Huh, LaJoya? Give us your intro.
My name is LaJoya Johnson. I currently live in Florissant, Missouri. That's in the suburb of St. Louis. I'm 39 years old. I consider myself to be an aggressive femme. Lesbian, of course. I came out in 1999. Freshman year of college at Michigan State University. My father found a picture and the rest is history.
You really did party like it is 1999.
That was amazing. I miss college. I do. I didn't have that as much responsibilities as I do now. But yeah, so came out in 99. And I've been doing activism work for a long time because I actually started when I was at Michigan State University. I created a scholarship for LGBT people of color. We awarded one scholarship and then it died down because of funding. But it was called the Michigan State University LGBT People of Color Scholarship. And I also created a petition for Sakia Gunn. All of this was due to me hearing about Sakia Gunn, who passed away. I was in Michigan, but I read an article about her and what happened to her in New Jersey. And I just felt the need to do something. So at Michigan State, I created a candlelight vigil. And then I also created a petition. The petition was signed by, I would say, 2,500 people. I think it was more than that, though. I still actually have the petition with me. It was from people all over the world, Finland, Germany, the UK, all over, that wanted to do a moment of silence for her. The reason why I did the petition was because the principal at her high school, where she was a student at, did not want to give her recognition or a moment of silence. Due to that, I wanted to do something. And so I sent that petition off to the mayor of Newark, the superintendent of schools, and also the principal. And it ended up, a year later, she ended up having a moment of silence at her school. So that's actually where my activism started, especially for the LGBTQ community. And it never really stopped. I fell off because of work, of course. I mean, I have to pay bills and stuff like that. So I was working a full-time job and stuff. But in September 10th, 2014, I created Black Educated Lesbians. That group now has over 4,000 members. It's one of my 26 Facebook groups. 26. Pray for me. And I created it because I wanted us to have a mature platform where we can talk about all types of things that we actually face, that we can actually dove deep inside on, and not just talk about memes and funny stuff and like songs and stuff like that. Other groups talk about that. I wanted to talk about deeper issues, things that actually affect us as a people, that can actually help us grow. So relationships, love, finances, divorce, coming out late. We talk about all types of things in that group, and it's been a great and wonderful experience. And to get the recognition that actually started in March of this year has been amazing. A bit overwhelming at times, but amazing.
You put the hard work in. You didn't start this group, in 2020 and expect to be an overnight success and have, thousands of members. You started this, almost 7 years ago?
Yeah.
I mean, this is a testament to consistency, persistence, and keeping your vision in line, right, with your goals, in line with the whatever's speaking true in your heart, and exactly create the space that you want there to be, right? Because I've seen some of the groups in the LGBTQ community. A lot of them are full of more drama, sex. A lot of that, and where are the spaces for more? Not saying there's anything wrong with that, right? There's a time and a place, there is a space for that, but we want to have other groups or other spaces where we can have more mature conversations, where we will have tons of comments under a question or, something that we want to take seriously, right? And so I love that you saw the need for that, and you're like, okay, I'm going to create this. Hey, one of 26 other groups, it's just kind of like investing. Now they say to, you can buy one of every, like one of 100, right? 100, you just buy one. You just need one winner.
Exactly.
You just need one winner. Buy everything, right? Do a little bit of everything, and you just need one winner to just take off, and you're set. It's good. That's what the hackathons do. So I love that.
So is the your most successful group?
Yes. Black Educated Lesbians is the largest group. I consider that to be my main group. And then I have subgroups, which are the Black Lesbian Health and Fitness, the Black Lesbian Parents, Black Lesbian Couples, Black Lesbians Seeking Romantic Relationships. That's my longest title. Black Lesbian Entrepreneurs. I have a Black Lesbian Mental Health Support. I have Black LGBTQ Professional Counselors, and then the rest are chapters. So the chapters are for BEL, Black Educated Lesbians, and those are for people that are local, that want to host events, explore different things in their area, have meetups once a month, and also do community service quarterly. So it's something that I am proud to say that I had this idea on, and it's growing very fast. So it's been awesome. So
Right. Yeah, I think that's amazing. Where are your current chapter groups, and are you open or looking for other chapters to form throughout? Is it in the US only? Just give us a little more detail on the chapters.
As far as chapters are concerned, I have, let me see if I can run it down. Dallas, Fort Worth, Houston, New York, Chicago, Atlanta, Detroit Metro. I have KOI, which is Kentucky, Ohio, Indiana. What else? I have several other ones. Those are, I have New Orleans and Seattle, Tacoma, and I'm definitely looking to expand more. As members say that they want to start a chapter in their area, I just tell them the requirements, and they go ahead and get it started. So it's been really cool. Last weekend, I actually went to our Chicago chapter meet and greet, and that was really fun. So it's a way for people to get together virtually online with BEL Facebook group, and then also locally, because if someone posts in a group that they're moving to that area and they don't know anyone, I want them to be able to have that chapter as a place to start, as a foundation. I'm about creating unity and sisterhood, and that's why I don't call anyone in the group my members. I call them sisters because that's what you all are, and I want to create a genuine family. So yeah.
No, that's amazing. And I guess, what's your vision for the local groups? Are you looking to potentially, I know this is a nonprofit, right? What's your vision there with the nonprofit and the local groups?
With the nonprofit, my vision overall would be to have, I'm trying to think if I should have a location where it's like a resource center, because there are LGBT resource centers, but honestly, most of those are focused towards white men. I mean, honestly. There is the Ruth Ellis Center, which is in Detroit, and that is, of course, African American. She was an African American lesbian. So there is that center that I'm aware of, but I don't know of any other resource centers or community centers for Black people and then Black lesbians. We have so many issues with health. We have issues with finances, lack of investments, lack of real estate. There's so many things that we could talk about, and it's just like to have that platform, to have that that place where we can talk about it. It will help us so much. So
absolutely, because Shan and I, we do financial and real estate services as our full-time business, and at the end of the day, we look at the statistics on the financial side. I'll share a statistic on the financial side. 66% of states, so most of the states in the US, they get rated a C or lower for financial literacy education. That's for the general population. That's not just for the LGBTQ community.
Wow.
So if that's where the general population is with financial literacy education, where are the marginalized communities, right?
Exactly.
Where are the people of color? Where's the LGBTQ community?
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then I'll throw one out there for the real estate. If you look at it, the LGBTQ plus community, we're at 46% when the national average is at around 74%.
So home ownership, that's crazy.
When they do those statistics, they're probably looking mostly at the white population. So once you break it down into LGBT plus Black, and then if you go down to trans, it's even lower.
Absolutely. And so you're right. Where are those resources that are specifically targeting the communities of color and and specifically targeting the LGBTQ communities of color? Because if everything is run and positioned towards potentially white and white male, are we attracting the people of color? It's not that the resources aren't there, and it's not that the resources aren't available to them, but are they being attracted and are they comfortable? And I've really never thought about it until you're just pointing it out. Like I haven't really even considered that. And you're right. Where is it? I mean, Shan and I are in a lot of spaces and rooms where we are certainly the only or one of the few, just the few people of color or even Black in the spaces that we're in. And so, and we want to lean in to that community and to, and that's why I love your group so much. It's because, I mean, there aren't a lot out there, that are doing what you're doing. So we appreciate the group. I love it. I think it's the right type of goal, energy, vision. I love it.
Yeah. I'm in and out of groups. She's really great at it, but I know more than often your group is always popping up with suggestions, and I click on it and I'm like, okay. So I know it's a very active group. I think we got some recommendations here recently, even though she wrote it as a general message.
I did. So I wrote a general message saying I have a few friends, because it's not just Shan. We have heard from other people who are like, we're female and more on the masculine side of that, right? How do we go about getting a suit, and how do we get one that's affordable? Because we checked out a place that's local here in Houston that we'd love to support, but honestly, it's just we're just not there to spend minimum $1,500 on a suit.
No, it's not even.
Wow.
No. It's 5.
I said $300.
It was 5. I had the number.
5,000?
5,000?
5,000? She didn't even tell me. She probably thought I would have a heart attack.
No, that was just for the shirt.
Oh, 1,500
Oh, no, you
for
sure
a
did.
custom shirt.
Oh no, Lord no.
It's
So
custom tailored. So
Yes. So right there, there's a clientele for that. The typical clientele is not.
yeah, but that's not us. Yeah, no.
People of color. That's not gonna
Exactly.
We're not there. Like
No.
we're trying to build, but we're not there. And even if we were there,
I wouldn't
I
spend
feel
that
like-
on a shirt.
like I feel like that would be half or a third. maybe
That's a
half the cost
mortgage.
of our wedding.
Yeah,
If I ever get
that's a
married.
mortgage.
But because
Right.
of your group, I was able to find it, and I went the same day we got the suggestion, and I'll have my suit in 46 weeks.
Yes.
Awesome.
So,
Awesome.
yeah,
Yay.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't cheap, but
Yeah.
it wasn't 5,000. It wasn't 1,500.
Exactly.
It was not
Yeah.
over $1,000. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
so when we're in business and we need these, I mean, it was just a flood of feedback and participation on that. When I see it in the group where when somebody has a question, people are trying to help. People are
Exactly.
trying to,
Yes.
push forward the information that we need to try to help each other be more successful.
Yeah, when I
Yes.
I think I saw like 41 comments.
I think more than that. Shan.
Yeah, it was when I looked at
I
it,
think
I
there's
was like,
maybe, I think there's way more than that. But yes, absolutely. And so I think that's great. And people are asking the same questions because, I posted that question about where do females find suits? And someone commented and said, oh, I just asked this question or a similar question just a couple days ago. And I went and found it and I'm like, oh, even more feedback. But I was specifically asking, for females who identify more masculine, but they may have, very prominent female features, such as
Exactly.
wider hips or a large butt or large breasts or whatever the case may be. If you're trying to minimize some of that showing, what are y'all doing to do that? And where are you going to get anyways?
well,
but
can you
that
start
was-
a group for big titty studs?
Oh my God.
For what?
Don't pay her any mind. She said, big titty studs.
No.
Thank you,
Well,
LaJoya. Thank you.
I'm one of those. So
Only if they single. No. but honestly, like another thing that I wanted to mention about the group is that we do have these discussions, but we also have events. Like this weekend, we're going to be talking about home buyer basics. We're going to be talking about investing in real estate. We're going to have a discussion part 2 on church hurt. So that one is very important to me because I'm a preacher's kid. And so being a Black lesbian who's a Christian, it's just like, wait, what? That's possible? So we had part 1 and it was amazing. And then part 2 is going to be talking about church hurt, where people felt ostracized and didn't feel like they belonged in a church, but they were Christian. And how do they identify with that? And honestly, a lot of Black lesbians have had to deal with that. It's been really hard. So we have also the virtual talking about it, discussions, and then we also have virtual meet and greets. We're having a game night. We also have those other events where we talk about specific topics, and then we have fun as well. So yeah.
that sounds exciting, especially the real estate. When I saw that event, so I definitely checked that I'm going. So.
Yeah. I'm going to do one on investing, on stocks and bonds and things such as that, because we don't get money off of these full-time jobs. You have to be a business owner, invest in real estate, or invest in stocks and bonds. People think you can get rich off of a 9-to-5. You can't. You're working for somebody else.
Well, yeah, I mean you have to put your money to work. We need to close the wealth gap. There's a huge wealth gap in the LGBTQ plus community, and even more so in the communities of color within.
Exactly.
So we have to start building wealth. and not just going through and living a paycheck to paycheck life. That's exactly why we're in the industries we are today, because we have to be able to educate ourselves and make those meaningful differences and choices that set ourselves apart from the vicious cycle of how society is built today.
Exactly. And we don't really talk about it as a people, as Black people, and we really don't talk about it as Black women. We don't talk about investing. We don't talk about putting money aside and saving. We're robbing Peter to pay Paul's 9 times out of 10. We're living paycheck to paycheck, and we have to get out of that generational curse that we are put in because we're so used to it, because we've seen our mothers, grandmothers past that, going through it. No, it's time for us to break that. We have the ability and the mindset to do so. So let's get it done.
Absolutely. So I mean, if people can put, getting a car as important, a depreciating asset that will never bring you wealth unless maybe some kind of collectible, but we're not buying any collectibles and keeping it in a garage to, you know what I'm saying? We're buying, well, not me, but we're buying flashy cars, flashy rims, decked out. And as soon as you drive it off the lot, it's
already depreciating. Yeah.
How is that helping us in our future and our next generations and our family and our friends? How are we setting the example to start being like, those that are affluent in the more Caucasian, right, persuasion, who are driving that old Civic for 30 years because they're putting their money where it needs to be so they can truly enjoy life. How many of them do you see traveling and retiring in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and not having to work if they don't want to? And how many of us do you see with the power to make that choice?
And we all have the power, and it's just crazy because we do have the power, but for some reason we're stuck on a mindset that we have to look flashy, we have to be materialistic, we have to have the newest Coach bag or the newest Jordan. Jordan don't even wear Jordans, so it's just like, oh no, like. Now, if you're a collector trying to sell them, that's different. But if they on your feet because you stood in line to pay $250, that $250 could have been on the stock.
So, but I'm a full proponent. If you have your money situation right and you want to treat yourself,
that's different.
Cool. Yes. But most people are not in that situation.
Exactly.
And that's why we have platforms like this now to hopefully change that mindset and start, getting that gap closed, because
and that's why you created what you created.
Yes, ma'am.
We have to start having these spaces where we can have these discussions, where we can, learn from each other, because we don't know everything.
Exactly.
And for people that are listening, if you are in that situation, like, don't be embarrassed about it. Like,
at all.
If you listen to this, maybe it's a sign for you to start thinking about it. And it's not going to be easy, because I was a sneaker head. I used to love buying shoes. But after a while, I started like, man, like, I'm living paycheck to paycheck and I have pretty good income. Why is that? And so that's when I started looking at myself, and I used to carry a notebook around writing down all my bills, my budget. And so it takes that. And from where I was to where I'm at now, like, I'm grateful for that. And it just takes that one step and actually being intentional about doing that. And that word intentional is going to be very important.
I mean, at the end of the day, we do what is a priority to us.
Exactly.
So if getting a fancy car or fancy clothes or fancy shoes is a priority to you, then that's more important to you than being financially free or having a great retirement or having work be optional, right? You will take action based on what's a priority to you.
Exactly.
And we have to be able to, like, get out of this instant gratification type mindset.
Exactly.
Yes, a lot of things do come very easily right now, right? The technology and everything that we have.
Exactly.
Like, even just your group, that is a testament. 7 years. It took you 7 years of building to get to this point. People aren't in the mindset to wait 7 years for something great to come of it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Finance is not the same. Finances, it usually takes that period of time or longer for you to really truly see the compounding interest and effect of you putting in those dollars and cents.
Exactly.
And it starts at home too. So if you're listening to this, you're a parent. If you have the bad habits, most likely your kids are going to have that bad habit.
Exactly.
So, start working on it. Start teaching them. Even if you can't work on it yourself, start educating your kids about it. There's YouTube. I mean, YouTube is a new.
And there are Facebook groups. I mean, LaJoya doesn't have the only group on Facebook. There are financial groups on Facebook.
Yeah.
There are many places that you can go to learn about.
But check out LaJoya's.
Well, of course, but that brings me to my next question. Not everybody can be a part of Black Educated Lesbians, right?
Yes.
Who can come in and attempt to join your group?
Oh Lord.
I saw your video about this. So I be checking in sometimes. So I get into it sometimes.
Okay, so the answer is Black cisgender females who identify as lesbians. That's the answer.
Awesome. I'm just taking it now.
And that's all your groups or just this Bell group?
Black lesbian groups, yes. Yes, I had to change the wording and add an extra word. And yeah, that was interesting. That was an interesting ride. And
Go ahead, sorry.
I'm sure it's not going to stop and it's going to continue, but that's what it is.
And it's not, I don't think it's to exclude anyone. It's just to create a space for these particular people, because that's where you identify and the missing gap that you saw, correct? So just elaborate on that a little bit for us.
So very recently, I was called transphobic because I do not allow trans women in the group. And the only reason why I don't allow trans women in the group is because their experience is so much different from mine. That is it. I never said that they couldn't be lesbians. I never said that they aren't real women. Never said anything like that. All I said was they're not allowed in the group. I was called transphobic. I was called a whole lot of stuff on my inbox. But that's what it is. So I added cisgender like a month ago. Still, people are still trying to come in. Bisexual women are trying to come in. And I'm like, y'all didn't read the name? It says it in the title. So that's literally what I deal with daily. But one thing that I don't allow in my groups is drama. So you will never see something that started and continued on in the group that's full of drama. I shut it down. That's how you have a successful group, is making sure you monitor as best as possible and also have people who are with you and support your vision that will shut it down as well. Send me screenshots or report to the administrator. I get that stuff and I shut it down. So that's how I've been able to keep it as drama-free as possible. But yeah, the group is, and I need to address this as well. There are people who have issues with the word educated because they think you need to have a certain number of degrees or a degree at all. That's not a requirement. It didn't sound right for me to call it Black intellectual lesbians. That don't really sound right. That's too long. So I was like, okay, Black educated lesbians. But people literally have told me I didn't feel comfortable joining the group because I only have a GED. I don't care about that. As long as you can hold a mature conversation and have an open mind, you're welcome to join. Period. So
there's people that are successful and have billions of dollars and never went to college. So
exactly.
And a lot of people are self-educated. I know that I have learned more and feel more educated from my experiences and reading books that I chose, not the textbooks that they assigned at school. I feel like I have been educated more by those things than school has ever educated.
Exactly.
So I love that you addressed that, because that's important. Like, who is to judge based on how much school you got? I mean, a lot of people don't even pay attention, or a lot of people, well, maybe not in our community, but a lot of people pay to play. And so, you know, who is to say what a degree is worth, or what value that's added to your life? So
exactly.
But I am sorry that you faced some of that hatred because you established certain guidelines for your group. But I think it's important for us to keep in mind that, you know, if the group or the space doesn't exist, I would say to anybody out there who, you know, wanted that space or group to create it. Exactly. And I mean, maybe there was opportunity to collaborate with you to say, hey, maybe I should create that group, and you can send people my way if they don't fit the description of, you know, what you specifically intended this group to be. You know, I think we need to be a little more open-minded about those things, because there are guidelines. I mean, there are plenty of Black groups, right, that they don't allow other races in a lot of the times, right? Sometimes allies are fine. I mean, it just depends on the group and their rules, right? But I don't think it's meant to exclude people. I know there is sometimes a lot of gray area in the LGBTQ community and more of a spectrum. So I know it probably makes it a lot harder for you. You know?
Especially now, because in 2014, when I created this group, it's completely like so much stuff has changed. So many extra letters, colors, like a lot has changed since 2014. So to have to add that word was just like, okay. So it was, all I wanted to do is create a safe space for Black lesbians who struggle with the same issues and experiences that I have gone through. That's it.
So, no, I understand.
I just think about, like, I'm a type 1 diabetic, right? So I'm in a Facebook group called Pumper Support, because I have an insulin pump and there's only pumpers in there, you know? Right?
And that means, you know, go ahead and explain what's the difference between a pumper and not.
Right. So pumper is basically, I have an insulin pump that stays on me every day. Some people will do injections. They're not a pumper, so they're not going to understand what we go through. So they're not included in the group. So I just kind of put it on that kind of spectrum. Like, it's to support whatever the creator created it for, and if it's not there.
But also, I also think that, you know, a lot of people don't see the visibility of the fact that you're running this show by yourself. Right. So if you did just open the doors wide open and start letting, you know, others that are not in your target in, it's a lot more to manage and potentially, you know, a lot more for you to juggle. So I also see visibility to that, quality, you know, over quantity, right?
Yes.
So if you know, open the gates, and I'm not saying that it would be good or bad, right? It's just a matter of fact that, hey, you had this intent from 2014, you stuck with it. It's not that you're trying to exclude anyone, it's just not the space that you had intended it for, right?
Exactly.
So if that space doesn't exist, I mean, I hope that people will go out there and create the space and maybe approach you in a way of, hey, let's partner, or let's, you know, collaborate, so that there isn't an extra workload on you. And I hope people can respect what you intended the group to be, you know, and to, you know, respect those boundaries. I mean, that's what LGBTQ is all about, right?
Exactly.
We have our interests and boundaries and hope that people will respect those, right? Even if they can't necessarily understand it, we want them to respect that, right?
Exactly.
And same goes the other way around, right? So, I mean, we're just humans. So anyways, I'm glad that you addressed a lot of those things.
So
thank you.
This question, what does your day-to-day look like?
Oh my God. Well, currently, okay, so work from 7, first job, full-time job. I work for a health insurance company doing claims. I work from 7 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. and then I try to take a nap. I try, maybe 2 or 3 hours. Then I wake up and do Facebook. I literally do Facebook between 7 p.m. to maybe 3 a.m., depending on what the need is or depending on what ideas I have, because I literally just randomly come up with stuff. I come up with questions, topics, things that we can do a presentation on. Like, my mind just goes because there is such a huge gap for us, and we deserve a seat at the table. We deserve to educate ourselves on so many different things that we're not educated on.
Right.
And also, I recently, actually, this is day 2 for my second job. My second job is after hours. I will be doing customer service for patients at a local large hospital. I'll be working from home on that job as well, and that will be at nights on the weekends. So very soon I'll be working 7 days a week, plus juggling my Facebook groups. Lord help me.
We're praying for you. We're trying to support you. We're trying to help you where we can.
When you get that sleep and eat and drink a lot of water.
Yeah, it's I've been managing it as best as I could, but as best as I can, but I have realized that my mental health was depleting with it. And so I'm slowly but surely taking a step back. I'm never gonna disappear fully, but I'm allowing people to be moderators and to delegate more and to just realize that you can trust people to help you as long as they understand and see your vision. Now, if they don't understand and see my vision, it's like, oh no, I can't, But as long as you understand and see my vision, where I'm trying to come from, we good. So
right, right, absolutely. And I think that's a good growth opportunity for a lot of us, right?
Right.
You know, we think we can do it all and want to do everything and not necessarily, especially when it's your baby, right?
Oh my gosh.
This is
like, I literally have a 7-year-old child, like real talk, legit. And I'm just like, no, you can't. No, you can't touch my child. Leave my child alone. So yeah, I don't think I'm ever going to have a moderator for BL, but my other groups, yes. But BL, no, that's my baby. No,
your baby. Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's like, you know, that is your pride and joy right there.
Yes.
So
yes.
It's hard to let go, but it's all in growth and time.
Yes.
And you know, you're growing from that, you know,
yes.
you're leveling up.
Yes.
So let's
well, I have another question because you know she is Facebook famous. Again, I've seen your post about Facebook. I think I saw some type of animation of you.
Mm-hmm.
So talk to us about how you got so much recognition with Facebook. I would love to know that. And also anyone that's out there that's trying to start a group, kind of give them some type of nugget that they can take away to
okay.
Because you're basically, you know, when it comes to this nonprofit that you've created, you're basically a content creator. You are a moderator. I'm sure there are many other titles you can fill in there that you are basically, that's your job in regards to this nonprofit and what you've created on Facebook, right? So I mean, there are a lot of people out there who would love to do this or haven't found exactly how what the ropes are in being successful at it, right? So I love that question. What led to that, and what are you doing?
So
you just got the juice.
So it started last year in 2020. I was approached by someone, literally, swear to God, I was approached by somebody in my inbox who was like, I think you should be a part of such and such project. I work with such and such. I can't name them because I signed an NDA. And I was like, spam, like, what is this?
This episode is supported by Queer of Real Estate Group. Our goal is to bridge the large wealth and homeownership gap that exists in the LGBTQ plus community. Follow us for education, tips, guides, and inspiration on Instagram at Queer of Real Estate, and message us to get the homeownership process started and matched with an LGBTQ plus or allied professional in your area. Connect with us on Instagram at Queer of Real Estate.
What is this? And then I got a check in the mail. And so I was just like, oh, okay, that's real.
Maybe it's that Sam.
Told her, and she was like, yeah, I'm used to that. I understand. So yeah, I got a check in the mail in 2020, and then March of 2021 is where it all began. I was a part of the March is Women's History Month, so I was a part of that program. It was amazing. I was selected, my group was selected as one of the people to represent Women's History Month, and they had me in a wardrobe and at a studio and filmed me in St. Louis and stuff like that. It was a great experience, and it literally, swear to God, it started with an inbox message from a particular person with a production company who said, I think you would be great for this project. Literally, that's how it started.
Eyes are everywhere, right?
Exactly.
You don't think you're being watched or being noticed, but when you put in the time, the consistency, the effort, people see it. You are seen. And it took you 6 years to get that message, right? But if you had given up at year 5,
Exactly.
this wouldn't have happened, right?
Exactly. And because of my connections with that production company, I'm actually really cool with the CEO of that production company. Whenever there's something that she's interested, that she thinks I would be interested in or the group would be interested in, she puts me on that. She literally does. And she actually gave me information for another production company. So I'm really cool with 2 production companies right now. Whenever they have a project, they put me on if they can. And it's like you said, it's about being aware of your surroundings because people are watching and making sure you're on point with your stuff. Like, check them inboxes. Yeah. You never know. But yeah,
check your mailbox for check.
Exactly. For a check. Exactly. Because these checks have been nice. Thank you. But yeah, it's it's crazy because I didn't realize about certain projects or like different ad campaigns until someone told me about them, because I was told about like one, but I didn't know it was going to be longer on the BET Awards. Like, what? And I was like, why are these people saying BET Awards? And they was like, girl, because your group was shown on the BET Award commercial. What?
Wow.
I literally had to shut my computer down and I started crying because this is what I've been working hard for. Like blood, sweat, and tears hard for.
With no pay.
For
what, 6 years?
6 years. 6 years, no
and
pay.
No ongoing pay either.
Exactly. That's why I got a second job, because my second job is going to help bring this nonprofit to where I need it to be. So it's about putting in your dues, praying to God that you're doing what you're supposed to do. And as long as you're doing it with a good heart, you're going to be fine. Yeah. So I've been blessed. I literally have been so blessed this year. It started in March. Pride Month was June, so last month. And some of those ads are still running in July. So I'm just like, I thought it was just during Pride Month. No, it's still running. So, and it's almost the end of July. So yeah, it's been amazing. It has.
That's
so powerful, because I mean, and so many surprise and delights for you, because you did one thing and didn't realize it was going to actually spiral into all these other things that you put you high on the totem pole for recognition, but also like that moment where you're like, whoa, this isn't just about Black History Month. Like I was just on BET Awards. I was like, whoa,
like Pink Smoke.
Yeah, am I dreaming, right? And for you to be a person of color, you're Black, you are a female, you are a lesbian, right? You're in the LGBTQ community, and for you to be able to be on those platforms, like I know this is 2021, but is the Black community that progressive right now, right?
No.
We still have a lot of work to do. So
yes, ma'am.
For you at this day and time, this space, this energy that this world that we're in right now, for you to be on that platform, I mean, I can't imagine how amazing it was for people to see you and be like, oh my gosh, I'm like her.
Yeah.
Like someone literally said that. I was like, I didn't even know groups like this existed. I was just like, wait, what?
And we'll be reading about you in the history books.
Yes. Definitely. I mean, that's powerful because we need more diversity, more people that don't look like the status quo. Like today, was it today or yesterday? We saw the Sports Illustrated magazine cover where the first trans woman to be featured on that glossy cover. And I'm just like, wow.
I was amazed. Truly amazed.
Amazed because we're, as a society meaning non-LGBTQ community, they're finally stepping up to the plate now. Whether it's just to,
be commercial and for money.
Right, exactly. Whether it's for that or not, we don't officially know, right? But all I can think is that there are a lot of people behind the scenes that are in our community that are getting more and more and more and more comfortable with being themselves and advocating for us inside of these companies.
Yes.
It was hard for us, we rebranded our business, everything rainbow. We're LGBTBE certified, right? Which is a certification as an LGBT business, right? So we have that minority certification.
We stole a couple of handles on Instagram already.
We did.
We don't have anything creative, but queer real estate.
I have Queer Money Girl, but I haven't started using it yet, but I'm gonna probably rebrand with that. So we have those, but it's like, for people, it wasn't hard for you, I guess, that you made this decision back in 2014. But there are a lot of people out there.
Little chicks following your lead.
But there are a lot of people out there that are still trying to find the balance or trying to feel completely comfortable to make that step and be completely comfortable and just hope, pray that nobody's going to judge them or, act out against them because they revealed who they are. But that's why we need spaces like yours, because that will help them get the confidence that they need to step out if they choose to.
Yeah, exactly.
Woo. So I love this. I love your group. I love this.
Thank you.
But we're going to transition over to your getting to know more about you and your personal life. So
story. You ready for that?
Sure.
I know she said Dad found a picture.
Okay, so what had happened was, when was it? Was it 99? It was either 99 or 2001. But no, it was 2001 when my parents found out. So this is what happened. So I guess it's kind of sad, but not really, because he all right. So I have a cousin who has the same birthday as me, November 7th. He's 1972. I call him my twin, my big brother. He lives in California. He told me when I was in school, I was the first person he told that he was HIV positive. And he told me not to tell nobody. I was like, okay, I'm in college. You're like, all I thought about was death. I was like, he's gonna die. I don't know what I'm going to do with my life. He's going to die. So I lost it. I literally lost it. He told me not to tell anyone. I told no one. I literally told no one. So that was weighing on me so hard. I didn't go to class. because I didn't go to class, I got academic probation. Then I got expelled due to my grades from Michigan State. So when all of that happened, I had to go back home because I was living on campus. I went back home to my parents' house. I put my stuff in the storage. And then I left for California because there was no way in hell that I could live with my parents for a year until I got back to school. So I went to California where my mom's side of the family lives. And so my father calls me one day and he said that I looked through your computer and I saw a picture. I know now, and you can come back home. So the picture okay. So it was two femme women. One had angel wings and the other one was bent down. It's a great picture. I don't care what nobody say. So he saw that picture and was like, I know, so you can come back home. I was like, I'm not coming back home. Like, no, sir. But I ended up coming back home for like a month. Then I went back to school and everything was fine. I graduated and everything is fine. But that's my coming out story.
So did y'all ever talk about it? Did y'all ever like?
Okay, so when I came back, my father was like, "You need to go to counseling." I was like, "Okay, whatever." So he didn't want to drive me. He wanted me to take the bus. So for whatever reason, I took the bus. I missed my appointment. I told him I missed my appointment. I never got another appointment. So I was like, okay, whatever. So that's literally what happened. And so we don't talk about it. I mean, I don't really talk to my parents anyway, but yeah, that's literally what happened.
But I don't know any of this greatness right now with all your Facebook famousness.
They have no idea. Yeah, no, unless they're on Facebook. But yeah.
Is there any particular reason? Does it have anything to do with your sexuality or how you identify why you're not friends with them? Yeah. Yeah. I have had toxic relationships with not just my parents, but also my siblings. I'm the oldest of three. And so I don't get the love and support that I feel that I should. We don't say I love you. We've never said I love you. My parents have never been those warm, kind people. And so it was after some soul searching, I was just like, just because they're your parents doesn't mean that they have to be a part of your life. They created you. Thank God they created you. But after that, if they don't respect who you are as a human, deuces. I mean, that has literally been something that has weighed on me for 39 years. I stopped talking to my parents about 2 years ago. 2 years ago, completely like cut off. 2 years ago. And it's been a struggle. I have dreams, like weird dreams about my parents and my siblings. And I'm just like, okay. But it is what it is. And that's another reason why I created BEL, was because I really wanted a family. And I feel that I've created that family of sisters where we can come together. I could say, I'm going to such and such place. People will literally meet up with you and say, let's hang out. Let's go to XYZ restaurant. If you're in town, people want to actually meet up with you instead of other groups where they talk about drama, they gossip all the time and stuff like that. We literally have a sisterhood, and it's an amazing and wonderful thing. So yeah. I love that. And you know, it that speaks a lot for, in general, the LGBTQ community. Sometimes they do lose their family, whether it's their decision or the family's decision. And I'm a strong believer that you can choose your family.
Exactly.
You can choose them. There is going to be that family that is related to you by blood. However, your chosen family is so special. Yeah, exactly. That's great if your part of your chosen family could also be your blood family, right? But not everybody has that. Exactly. And that's okay. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah. You know, and sometimes you'll see people with chosen families thrive so much more than the people who are trying so hard to make and force the blood family to fit.
Exactly. And especially as a Black people, we have grown up like, you got to be in the church, you got to be close to your family, your kin, blood is thicker than water, all that stuff. And it's just like, well, dude, that's not my reality. So it would be nice. I love family. I love the concept of family, but I don't have that family support that I wish I had. So either you dwell on it and continue to be in a depressed state, or you do something about it. So I did something about it.
That's amazing. Take action.
Yeah.
Find create what is missing in your life. You know, create that safe space, create the, environment that you can thrive in. And sometimes it takes time.
Yeah, it does.
You know, you don't get there overnight, but you have to take those baby steps and start working towards it. You know, you talked earlier about the, events that you do about church hurt, which I have attended. And
we experienced that.
Definitely. We have. And it showed us the environment we're in is extremely important. You know, we have to find, just because we were, we weren't kicked out of a church, but we were told that due to our lesbian lifestyle that we cannot we cannot serve with the church with the children.
Wow. Okay.
And Roger, I was a teacher for 8 years.
Wow.
And so, it showed us that, okay, so they're okay with us going and volunteering and serving, right? In other groups, but we can't serve with the children.
But the priest can. The priest can.
Right. And so, and for us to be equated to being alcoholics or drug addicts. That was the analogy used.
They have a hurt habit of hang up. They consider our lesbian lifestyle a hurt habit of a hang up.
Right. So,
the funny thing about it is, in my Black lesbian parents group, they don't even want their children to be gay. So it's just like, what are y'all even talking about?
Right. Like we just want to accept our kids for who they are, right? They have their own identity separate from us.
Exactly.
Just like we have a separate identity from our parents, and that's okay.
Also, the crazy part, and I know we got to get going, but another crazy part, Shanice was actually serving before they recruited her.
Yes.
To the kids group, because I don't think they knew we were dating or anything. Because she was I've been going to the church for 8 years, and so I would bring guests all the time, and so it wasn't a problem until I showed up.
I was like,
because I guess I look gay.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's a whole other story. We'll talk about it at the end.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But this is what people are real life experiencing from different environments, from their family, from their church, from their workplaces. But find your environment. You create that, right? Take the baby steps, take the action to find where your fit is. If you're really unhappy in your job or really unhappy in your household, it may be time for you to start taking steps towards finding. You have to seek it out. You have to ask questions. You have to go apply. You have to go figure out what your next steps are, but you can start to create that. And also, and also I would say, listen to the energy in the universe around you. Like, if you're not open to it, you won't see the different things that are right in front of you.
Right. Exactly. You have to have that type of spiritual awakening and spiritual openness in order for you to seek exactly what you're looking for. So you can't just pray about it, or you can't just think about it. You have to put that energy in the environment for it to work for you. And once you do that, leave it alone, because it's growing. So people don't realize that, but it's just like, that is real. That is really real. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So next question. Let me put on my Cupid wings. Are you single?
Yes.
Second question. Are you ready to mingle?
Definitely.
All right, y'all hear that? I mean, we got a Facebook famous celebrity. And no, don't just holler at her and get her in DMs because she Facebook famous.
You're so silly.
Quality, okay?
Yes. Yes.
Because if you're not, she gonna put you in your place.
Yes, I will.
Oh yeah, real quick. really quick. And then also, I would like to, before we head to our wrap up questions, I would like to see, as far as your personal relationships before, like not just your family, when you came out, did you have any issues with, friends that didn't know, or are they still your friends? So if you can talk a little bit.
Yeah. So when I came out, I was in undergrad at Michigan State. So it was freshman year, and all of the people that I knew and ended up meeting were a part of the LGBT community center that we had, and we had all the meetings and stuff like that. And that was the time that I created the Sakia Gun stuff as well. So some of those people I'm still in touch with. Actually, 2 of those people are trans. So it's just like, that's another reason why I'm like, oh my God, why are you saying this? You don't even know me. But yeah, those people that I grew up with at Michigan State, some of them I'm still cool with. So yeah. Yep.
Alrighty. So we're gonna get to the wrap up questions. Any questions?
No. I think this has been phenomenal. I love that people are going to be able to hear your story, hear about the group, and just, get some different perspective on, what it is for another Black lesbian, in the community,
Success and work hard at it, and it wasn't just handed to you like you.
Right. Not at all.
I mean, sleepless nights, I'm quite sure.
Yes.
Agitating nights and
Yes.
all of that. So
being called
if
a
you
lot of
are-
names.
if you are Black, cis, gender, educated lesbian, education means just without the drama.
Exactly.
Conversation. Go on Facebook and follow the Black Educated Lesbian Facebook group.
Yeah. Put your request in and join in on the conversation, the collaboration, the sisterhood.
Yeah.
Love
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
All right. So
You want to start? Yeah, you start.
Okay. So where do you find your motivation, LaJoya?
God.
God.
I pray a lot, and it's really funny to say that because I'm a Black lesbian and people don't think God is a part of my life, and I'm
He
like,
loves you.
why isn't he? Like, I have several testimonies on that. Like, come on now. So yes, God is my motivation and keeps me saying yes.
And let me correct myself. I said He loves you. God loves
Yes.
you.
Yes.
All right. And this is my favorite question, so I always try to get you to answer ask the first question. What advice would you give to someone in the LGBTQ plus community that would like to advance in their career or level up in their business?
Be true to yourself. If you're looking for a community that does not exist, be brave enough to create that. It wasn't when I created BEL, I just broke up with my ex. I was feeling lonely and I was living in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm like, I live in Atlanta, Georgia. Why am I not able to go online and find anything but memes, jokes, and funny stuff? Like, why can't I speak to someone and have a decent conversation with them? And so I created Black Educated Lesbians. So you have to find your niche. You have to be strong and brave enough to create the community that you do not seek, but you want. And that's so important.
I like that.
Yeah.
I love it.
I love it too.
I love it. And that's one of the main reasons why we started the Shen and Shan show. We went through a bunch of podcasts. A lot of them was drama.
Or gossip, or politics.
And it was like, there's nothing on there for professional entrepreneur lesbian people. And so
Exactly.
This
Or
LGBTQ plus.
LGBTQ plus, let me correct myself.
And exclusive to that, right?
Right.
So we
Yeah.
only interview people right now in the LGBTQ plus community. I mean, maybe someday we'll introduce some type of an ally, segment. But our focus is on sharing the stories of our
And
LGBTQ
businesses.
plus, right?
Yes.
And we have a business focus, but of course, behind every business is a person. So we always
Exactly.
get into a little bit more personal, because I think that's important for people to see that people can have successful businesses, successful, careers, and have struggled.
Right.
And
Exactly.
have come out of something, So I think it's really important that we
Inspire.
share those things and inspire. And now there are a lot more, I think, podcasts that are more geared towards the more professional side of things,
Yeah.
which is amazing. But I don't think there's still not enough, because when you look at other spaces, there are not a million, but thousands of podcasts on the
Exactly.
same type of topic. And the key
Yeah.
there is who is the person leading it, right? Because everybody resonates with somebody different, whether it be based on their background or demographic or whatever the case may be. In the LGBTQ space, there isn't a lot, there isn't just an overwhelming amount of options for people.
Yeah.
So I love that there are more options now, but there's still gaps,
Exactly.
So, yeah.
So
Exactly.
will we be seeing a Bell podcast?
I thought about that, but probably not, because I don't have time.
LaJoya is
Well, you're
busy.
getting to the point where you're able to delegate things out and
Yeah.
be able to even grow it even bigger. And I'm gonna manifest that for you.
Yeah.
'cause,
Thank you. Thank you.
if it gets my attention, you got something going.
And you know what? You're a nonprofit, so I'm sure that you will be gaining more and more momentum and support here.
Yes.
For our Shen and Shan show. Like, we have our merchandise, and that's on our website. We haven't advertised a lot for it or anything like that, but we will hopefully gain the momentum to have more people support our show, make donations and purchase shirts. But what we do with those donations, we committed since we started the show, once we become profitable, 75% of our proceeds are going to go to LGBTQ plus and marginalized nonprofit organizations.
Wow. That's
So
awesome.
yeah, so this is our passion project. Like, this is not for us to make money.
Right.
Yeah.
This is for us to genuinely give back to the community, create a space, for what we were looking for, and share these stories as well as support. So we're hoping that we will be able to really truly give some support to a lot of these nonprofit organizations out here, just like yours, that are supporting the community and trying to uplift and really make a difference.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
that's one of our goals here.
Awesome.
Number 3, do you have a favorite book or podcast you'd like to share with the listeners?
Oh, my favorite podcast. Okay, so my favorite podcast currently is, what is it called? Total Body Chills.
I've never heard of that.
Yes.
Is that scary?
Huh?
Is that scary?
Oh yeah.
Oh, no.
I'm thinking on the left field. I'm thinking some left field.
Yes, Total Body Chills. That's my favorite podcast. It comes off of Crime Junkies, Ashley Flowers and Britt. Ashley Flowers has a lot of different podcast series, but that one, y'all have to listen to episode 1. If you listen to episode 1,
she's not gonna do it.
yeah,
I don't do anything scary. Like, the scariest movie that I've watched that I thought was pretty scary. It was a year or 2 ago. It was no, that was in high school. The Grudge. But that is the scariest movie I've ever watched. Bird Box was the recent movie that I thought was so scary. Yes, I can't
And
do
she
it.
beat me up. I had bruises and everything. Like, you can't watch scary movies with her.
I can't
because she
do
will
it.
bruise you
I
up.
can't do it.
I always joke with her. I said they mustn't have scary movies in Jamaica.
A lot of Jamaicans don't do scary. They don't. A lot of them don't. I can't do it. Okay. I just can't. I mean, the amount of anxiety and like, I can't.
But even suspenseful movies, she's like, if they're fighting or shooting or something, like,
or suspense, like you know something is
Oh my God.
I can do it. But she loves it. Maybe you can listen to that on your own. Do not
like, I
share.
want to see Candyman. Like, I want to go see Candyman when it comes out.
Yeah, that's gonna be awesome. That is gonna be awesome. Yes.
Y'all can go together. Bye. I'm not involved. I don't want to hear about it. I want nothing to do with it. Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Oh my God.
Alrighty. Let us. This one will be bleeped out. But anyways, I know. We just let it flow. Let the audience know where they can get in touch with you.
On Facebook, my name, LaJoya Johnson. On Instagram, joyful_new beginnings, spelled the correct way. And that's about it.
You said joyful new beginnings.
_new beginning.
Yes.
Awesome. LaJoya Johnson. Amazing. And right now, whether you're talking to your group or people out there that are listening, whenever they're listening to this, because maybe, there's going to be somebody listening to this a year from now.
Yeah.
How could they support you and your group?
Well, if it's a year from now, hopefully we have our scholarship program taken care of and started awarding our first scholarship. But I will be starting a website very soon. Everything costs money. So honestly, if you want to donate, please do by just contacting me. I will provide you the Cash App, Venmo, all of that information. I already posted in the group for people to donate to the nonprofit, but just contact me and I can provide you with more information on what we currently need at the time. So yeah.
And I want to point out that these are things that you have done already in the past. You've created scholarships. You have tried to make sure that there is a space for that gap, that space that there is a need, right? Especially in communities of color, and especially in the LGBTQ plus community.
Yes, ma'am.
I think that's great, the scholarship opportunities, and you're growing so fast. I mean, I can't imagine that, this is going to get big really fast, as well as we want the nonprofit portion of it, right? Not just the community portion, but also the nonprofit and the vision of that to get large as well, and to get the support so that, I know you're now working a second job to try to fund this dream, fund this nonprofit, but hopefully we can pull together as a community and fund it together, So I love that. We want to, support the nonprofit as much as we can, as well as the groups and our local chapter here in Houston. We're really excited to get that up and running and start meeting with people locally. And I mean, it's just been an honor. Yes, I'm excited.
Thank you.
Yes, definitely. So we're looking forward to seeing you flourish, LaJoya.
All the good juju.
Yes. All right. Well, take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks for watching.
Like, subscribe, and share the video to your friends. In the comment section down below, write how good the video was.
And if you're listening to the podcast, make sure to hit a 5-star review.
Bye.